because I immediately thought if Blake was here, he'd have a
Yeah. So I would say that at the time they were good decisions, right? You do the best you can with the information you have when you do, right? So it looked like these were ultra high margin acquisitions. It looked like these were easy hits out of the ballpark, so to speak, easy home runs, right? And what happened was they were too large of purchases. Nobody really knew that inflation. I mean, I was screaming about what the Fed was doing at the time, but for the most part, nobody really knew what inflation was going to do. And there was when he made the acquisitions, it hadn't really reared its ugly head yet. The central banks were all overprinting, and we weren't quite in the phase where it was time to like tighten your belt and start worry about spending. So I would say that it has more to do with learning for like Raj and the management and stuff. They learned that lesson. Don't take too big a risk any one step, right? Dip your toe in the water. And we saw that he proof that he learned that lesson, right?
You point like to the best decision ever, the launch of the discount model program. And the acquisitions at that time allowed HITI to have much better consolidated margins than competitors, and that it was exactly that allowed the company to launch the discount model program that now is a tremendous success. And if they didn't have those CBD brands, which at the time were having like pretty good margins, they simply couldn't do it because they would go bankrupt by selling cannabis at a loss. And it was that period where they could still be getting like a good EBITDA from those CBD brands, because I mean they acquired them, and for at least a few months they were having good numbers. It was after like inflation and like starting in 2022 that they started to be an hurdle for the overall profits and overall company results. So at least they were really important in launching the discount model program in the first months. And that was what made the company jump in terms of economies of scale, and what made them afterwards like be able to sell cannabis so cheap. Because otherwise they would never be launching a discount model program, and they would never be like where they are today. So in the end, I agree that it was at least some of the brands were not needed. Absolutely, I agree with that. But first, as Blake said, it was a learning process for Raj. And second, without them, I really doubt that High Tide could have such a successful discount model. And it was that allowed High Tide to reach this point of success.